I can already tell you. I mean, you could probably already tell that I'm gonna be a type A mom. If you're new here, welcome back to my channel. I'm Martisa, a Black queer feminist homemaker, gardener, and hopefully soon to be first-time mom. On this channel, I share my preconception journey, everything queer family building, wellness, and joy. If you enjoy that kind of content, please like, comment, and subscribe, stick around, and help us build this community. If you could not tell, preconception is serious business to me for a lot of reasons, but mostly because when I become pregnant, I want to minimize stress, minimize decision fatigue, and lean all the way into my mother wit, focusing on growing that baby, not managing 100,000 logistics that could have been handled before. So I'm treating preconception as like my pre-work era. And here are 5 things that I'm doing now to prepare for pregnancy and why they matter to me. First up is reading and researching. I have finished my preconception research phase. As you probably know so far, my holy grail is Real Food for Fertility by Nichols and Hendrickson-Jack. That book has really changed and shaped the way that I think about preconception, both from a food and nourishment standpoint, but also from a physical wellness standpoint. I will share more of the books that I have read in a later video. But here's the thing that keeps coming back to me. If people say, and we say as a society, that parenting is going to be one of the most important jobs that you will ever have, why we don't be studying like that? We gotta get 4-year degrees, sometimes 6-year degrees, all of these things to prepare for a career, but we're not doing the same kind of preparation for parenting. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking this time to consume different perspectives, different research, all before the fantasy turns into reality. I came into this era already knowing how I wanted to birth and some of how I wanted to parent. But reading and researching has really helped me crystallize that. And Mars and I have been using that as ways to enter into conversations, seeing where we both land on different topics. And I'll say this because it always comes up. No reality is gonna look different than the research. That's fine. What I want is a starting point, something to be guided by that I can pivot from when real life happens, because obviously it will. Number 2, creating my pregnancy, birth, and postpartum plans. So all 3 are drafted. I know that sounds wild, but that's how I'm doing things. I'll keep the specifics of my birth plan close for right now, but I'll walk you through the highlights of my pregnancy and postpartum ones. Now, as the birthing person, a lot of the pregnancy, birth, and immediate postpartum centered decisions are mine to make. Donor decisions, how we get pregnant, how we raise our little, these are group decisions between Mars and I. But when it comes to my body, we agree that those calls are led by me. They are an eager co-conspirator in that decision making, not a bystander. And that's on marrying good. One piece that is non-negotiable for us is queer confirming and Black safe care providers. We are already working on compiling a list of doulas, midwives, lactation consultants, postpartum doulas, people who will see us fully before we even walk into that door. And the thing that I knew the least about moving into this was postpartum. I assumed, like I guess most of us do, that postpartum is a baby-centered time. And although it is, it's not or shouldn't be completely. The biggest shift I've had to make in my thinking around postpartum was from baby-centered to parent-centered. That reframe alone was massive. So I will be observing a 42-day sit-in. This is a Black ancestral practice that I learned through Mothering the Mother by Mama Shafia Monroe. In her book, she outlines a very clear picture of what Black maternal postpartum could and should and has in the past look like. Part of what that entails is that there will be a very strict visitor plan. We're telling people plainly and upfront, we cannot host during this time. Anyone that is coming into our home during that 42-day sit-in must be willing to contribute and support the household, not just come over to see and hold the baby. There will be plenty of time for holding and enjoying the baby after I recover and we settle into the new reality of being a family of 3 or 4 with Indy. And so that 42 days time when my body is recovering from pregnancy and holding and creating a child, it will be so critical that whoever is in our space can also hold the space for our new becoming, not just trying to come over to get some sweet baby snuggles. My self-care non-negotiables during this time are almost embarrassingly simple. I'm talking about eating every 2 to 3 hours, drinking plenty, around 100 ounces of water a day, brushing my teeth, washing my face, hopefully getting a shower in, and changing my clothes every day just so that I can feel like a human while having a baby attached to me. The bar is gonna be low because it's gonna have to be. I intend to spend the first 10 days in bed with my kid to allow my body to utilize all of its resources to heal and to stabilize my milk supply. And since I'll be observing a 42-day sit-in, we will be building support around that. Cleaning support, meal support, dog support, so that the only job during that season is healing and feeding the new baby. Number 3, keeping a list of baby and pregnancy items. I don't want my pregnancy to be bogged down with consumer-laden panic. And my God, do they share that to new parents in droves. The decision fatigue is going to come regardless, but I don't want to have to pile on to it. So in order to mitigate that, I am keeping a running list of baby items, the brands, the types we already know we want now, so that when it's time to build our registry, to make purchases, the research is already done. And we're not moving from a scarcity or we got to make a quick decision. We can move from a place of peace. My goal is low consumption as what's going to make sense. I don't want to fall into the trap of it was on this list, so we must have it kind of mania. I want quality, low tox essentials and enough space to grow into what we need as it becomes needed. But I'm gonna be honest, y'all know me, there's always going to be joy too. There is a crib that I have had my eyes on for years and have dreamt about and pictured. And yes, I intend to co-sleep. So that kid is not gonna be in that crib anyway. In that crib anyway. And no, I'm not taking opinions about co-sleeping, so you can go ahead and keep them to yourself, unless they're positive, in which case, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Anyway, I still want that crib in the nursery. And shoot, even the nursery. The whole point of that is really for us a joy thing, since the baby will be sleeping with us and probably won't use it functionally. But it will be a project that Mars and I get to enjoy and lean into in those coming days of preparing for the baby. And that is good enough for me. 4, brainstorming postpartum meals. From everything that I have researched, the most critical postpartum need is adequate nutrition, especially if you're breast or chest feeding. So this will be my biggest focus. The plan will be to get a second freezer and stock that freezer with homemade freezer meals and quick grab and go snacks for before baby comes. So right now, as the meal ideas come to me in a recipe, on my timeline, in my feed, I'm building a list that I can pull from during pregnancy and can cook ahead. And for this, I'm leaning really deeply into ancestral wisdom. In Mothering the Mother, Mama Shafia shares recipes for that 42-day sit-in. They are characterized by being warm, soft, easy to digest foods like bone broth, soups, stews, braised meats and greens and pot liquor. High protein, easy to digest carbs, and nutrient dense is the name of the game. There will also be a lot of lactation snacks that I can eat one-handed while nursing the baby. And then the last thing I'm doing now to prepare, well, maybe not the last thing, but the last thing I'll share with you for now, is conversations with our village about capacity and support. When we told people we love that we were embarking on this journey, we also started dreaming about how those relationships were going to change. With my closest friends, I've been having explicit conversations. How do you want to show up? What capacity do you think you'll actually have? I joked with them that Mars and I have made an executive decision that we all are having a baby, because I fundamentally believe that no two people should be responsible for raising a human. Child rearing is a group project. So when I say village, I mean the people that are already woven into the day-to-day fabric of our lives. Not the folks I just check in with twice a year. I'm talking about the people we show up for regularly and that they show up for us as well. Having these conversations now before baby comes lets us avoid ambiguity, allows them time to really think about what the right fit is for them, if it is at all, and helps to mitigate disappointment that might come up later. And ultimately, life is gonna life. From what I heard, parenthood is largely unpredictable. No amount of pre-work changes that. But having a foundation, having intentions set now before the fog of the 4th trimester comes will help anchor me and give me a place to land. And also, can we stop telling expected parents, oh, just you wait. Just you wait, shut the fuck up. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share to other folks who might be in this place. And I will see you in the next one, friends. Bye.